I've spoken enough. It's time to let much cooler, more qualified people speak about rhythm, which is probably it's equally important to community and things like that, but today, definitely more important. So we're going to welcome Larry to the stage, Professor Jenkins.
Yes. Thank you. Well, all right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, okay. I don't know what to say. Want to make sure that this is good and interactive, so don't be scared to use your voice. We'll definitely be in this space together. This will be communal, more so than me just talking at you. So, remember that this is our space as we're doing this. This is a conversation. I want you to feel comfortable, and we're going to have a great time this morning. And I got a clicker, so I'm excited. I feel very official. All right, this morning, the topic that we are discussing, the presentation, the conversation is titled, We Are Rhythm. So I wanted to take it and make it very, very personal, right? Because rhythm plays a role in our lives that is very important and really happens a lot more than we probably give credit to it for. All right, so the title today is We Are Rhythm. And of course, you see here our drum line, some folks from the TSU band drum section. I'm gonna talk about TSU band a little bit as well. But what better way to personify and see rhythm than the drum section? And click, I told you I feel official. All right, so this is what we'll be talking about. I almost feel like I jumped into educator mode a little bit with this. And these are the contents for today. So what you can look forward to. And each one of these will expound upon a little bit more. And in this picture here, this is like full uniform, everything but the hat. But what we're doing at this moment, we were warming up. And that's what this part of this is about to be. This is like the warm up for the entire presentation that we'll be having. Hold on this side, click. All right, so who are you? Well, not you, but me. Who am I? My name is Larry Jenkins. At home, my family calls me DJ. Most people here, when I got here, called me Larry J. And now, most people call me Prof. And it's something that I don't take for granted. Even in the community, and this is really something that's special to me. So I am Larry Prof. Jenkins. I'm from Portsmouth, Virginia, but by way of, Nashville, Tennessee, since 2004. And then 3 years in there, went to DC, and we'll talk about those days a little bit too. And I'll set up this first half by kind of telling a little bit of my story and how rhythm played a role in that too. But I'm a professor, assistant director of bands at Tennessee State University. I've been there for 10 years now in that role. I went to TSU, in 2004. So long time. Blessed to be a Grammy Award winner, just like them. Yes. Some of my creative things, I'm an arranger, producer, composer, trumpeter, music director, but altogether music lover. All right? Hold on. I want this to be dramatic too, my flips. All right, and then let's move on. Who are they? These are the fellas. Let's give them a hand. Let me tell you how special this is before I even tell you about them, to have them here, because these are college students who are out of their dorm and off campus before 9 o'clock. That is incredible. So thank you, and I want to say thank you. I'll thank you again, but I really appreciate you all. So they're a multifaceted instrumental group made up of members of the TSU Aristocratic Bands. They've performed all over Nashville and across state lines at this point, and I said it's only the beginning because, again, these guys are incredible. And as you hear them, this is something that I'm proud of because I don't have anything to do with it. This is them. They put their sets together, they put their music together and rehearse themselves, so these are a credible group of guys. So these are the fellas. All right, so now, a lot of people ask questions or are fascinated when I talk about the band aspect of my career. So before I go any further, I do want you to kind of see a quick, and I'll keep it brief so we can get everything in and I can hear from you and all this stuff, but show you a quick little tidbit of a band. This is actually a practice clip I'm about to show you. It's like 224, I think, on the field. We have about 260 in the band. This is sped up. Think about the amount of rhythm it takes to do this. This is a whole bunch of Beyonce stuff. So yes, that was an example of just a little practice clip of the band. We actually did that Beyonce. Oh, well, thank you. I'll take that. You take that. Morning. And so all these guys, they do this, and her too sneaking in. She does this too. All them do this on a regular basis. You know, it takes so much rhythm, so much thought. Now, this is kind of off script, but I say in a regular field show, you make more decisions probably doing this 10 minutes than, you know, people might make in an entire day by playing the music and playing it the right way, playing everything the same way, right? Being in step and in rhythm. We're gonna say that a lot today. In rhythm together, right? Being in the right place at the right time, making sure you look like the person beside you. It's so many things that go into it. So yeah, I'm very, very impressed with all my band students. And that's just a little taste. You can look up some more at TSU Aristocratic Bands anywhere and see the band. But let's move on some more. So let's get into some background. I told you I'll give you a lot of background on myself to make some of this make sense. All right, let's talk about destiny. And I said, go ahead and tell that funny story, bruh. So I'm going to tell that funny story. So when I was young, this is before I was born. So my mother was pregnant. It's the first story. I got several stories. My mother was pregnant with me and sitting at church. And while she was in church, there was a particular lady who would sing, and she didn't have the best voice or maybe the best ear. So everything was off. And the crazy thing about this is my mom said this happened more than once. She said that when this specific lady would sing that I would kick like profusely. Like I'm talking about going in like it's a problem, right? And so what she ended up saying was, and saying this to herself, was, I bet my son is going to be a musician. She was thinking it then. And it's wild to hear that from her before I was even born. Number two, I think it was about 3 or 4, the way she says it. And I came up to my mom, probably big-eyed and, you know, very curious, and asked her, Mom, am I crazy? And she said, huh? Right. And I said, Mom, am I crazy? And, you know, when she collected her thoughts, she turned around and said, why do you ask? And the reason I said was because I hear music all the time. And I was just trying to figure it out. So at an early age, I knew that music was going to be a part of my life, or I knew it was something that I loved, right? All right, so those are my funny stories. But musical journey, and I'll be brief. You see, I even put a note to myself, and I wrote a note to myself. Don't talk too long, because I can go, all right? But got to TSU in 2004, had an amazing experience. Of course, I played trumpet, as you can see in this picture. This was another one of those destiny moments. I'm in middle school and just pulled my trumpet out to take a picture. I loved it, right? Majored in music, did the normal thing. I was in the band, played trumpet section leader. I was like these guys, drum major. You know, I did all those things, had a ball when I was in college. And that, once I graduated, that took me to Washington, D.C., where I started teaching at DCPS. I don't have enough time for some of the funny stories for that. But I taught alternative school, instrumental music at 2 alternative schools actually, and I can have a whole nother session about those that will have you just in tears laughing. But great times though, just some wild stories. All right, so While I was there, an important part of that story is I used to walk over to Howard University and speak to the band directors. And I was really just kind of picking their brain and trying to learn, because I said I wanted to do what you do one day in the capacity that you do one day, right? So that's an important little tidbit in the story. I keep hitting this thing, oops. A little important tidbit in the story that I'll come back to. But I moved back to Nashville, and I moved back to Nashville because, well, partly because my girlfriend was here. She can raise her hand because she's my wife now. Hey, baby. Yeah. Well, I moved back to Nashville and I started teaching here, and I was teaching elementary music, elementary instrumental music. So I was doing everything from recorders to actually starting with my 5th graders. I was starting them on actual wind and percussion instruments. All right. So then one day, this is a big part of the story here. I'm sitting in church playing trumpet. And there's a guy, he's a TSU alum, who was sitting beside me, and his son had just went to audition at Howard University in DC. And so we're sitting there, and it just happened to be spring break. Again, that destiny word comes back too. Happened to be my spring break. And this is on the Sunday. Leans over and says, hey, the band directors at Howard have been looking for you. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, my son just went and auditioned, and he's going there, but they said they didn't know where you went. And they have an assistantship available for you. This is a whole year later. So they said, give him a call. I didn't know what was about to happen. I knew I wanted to go back to school, but I didn't know it was gonna happen in this type of way. So I gave him a call on Monday. Tuesday, I talked to Mr. Irby, who is incredible trumpet player, Fred Irby. Love Mr. Irby. He told me to send the application to his house. Wednesday, I'm on a megabus. I don't know, is megabus still around? You could go across the country for $2.50 at that time. So jumped on the megabus, went to DC, and by Thursday, auditioned and had my school paid for in the grad assistantship. Happened in 4 days, the week before I didn't know it was about to happen. So that was another destiny moment where I was just like, wow, this thing is happening. All right, so then I come back to Nashville. I'm working at TSU. I started back at TSU in 2014. So this season and finishing out this year will be the finish of my 10th year at TSU. At that time, though, I was starting to figure out what I wanted to do next. And I hope you find some inspiration from this point. This is going to kind of get into that life rhythm, too, before we even start to talk about rhythm a little bit deeper. But what ended up happening is I was getting ready to go back to school and work on a doctorate for music education at the University of Alabama. So I started. That drive, for one, was not fun. I'm just gonna tell you now, to go to Alabama in the morning, then drive all the way back and be at band practice in that evening, whew, that was not fun, but I was doing well. But I was kind of suppressing me, in a sense, like the real me inside. So music had become so academic at that point that I was losing creative me. And I didn't know how to balance that at that time. So I made a tough decision, especially as you're getting ready to be for those who in education, you're working on things like tenure and stuff like that. You want to just have everything in place that you can. But I said, I'm done. And I stopped, right? But as I stopped, and that's why I call it the Bama awakening, because everything started to change in that moment, right? Things started to happen. And this is not a don't go to school thing. No, that's not what I'm saying. Or don't keep going. No. I may keep going at another time when I find the way to do, right? But you have to feel it. And for me, again, once I stopped, I felt so much better because things started to open up, including this, which I call my creative return. So, message read, shameless plug, but this is shameless because it is so good. This is a film by one of my best friends, Spencer Glover. Out of the blue, and we grew up together too, I got something for that. Out of the blue, he calls me and asks, would you mind or would you be interested in scoring this film? I'm like, whoa, I've done something like that with him years ago, but we were in college, we were young, we just trying it out. But this is for real now. Spencer is, at this point, he's an Emmy winner. He just had a Disney short that came out called Black Belts like a month ago. He's incredible. So this is a big undertaking, but I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, and took that chance. But creatively, my mind just started to expand and things started to happen so much. And from here, I just use this as a launch point to things like starting Brassville. It's our brass band. We've played again around here and across the country. You know, that started from having this open space to be creative. So my creative return, this is a big, big, big pivot point in my life. And it's a certain type of rhythm that you'll see that this aligns with once we get there. Click. All right, but for now, I need to get ready to really just open this space with gratitude. And I told you I don't want to be the only one talking, even though I have one more story for you before we start that. Told you I can go. So before we do, I do want to just have gratitude open this space. I think that's an important thing, and it really changed my perspective on life as I start to put gratitude in the forefront. So this very friend I was talking about, Spencer Glover, we're kids at this point, right? We grew up together in Portsmouth, Virginia, too. And my grandmother is sitting in between us. We're in church. Church has come up like 3 times today. But we were in church, and there was a guy that came up and prayed. And this particular young man, he was an autistic young man. Excuse me. So as he was praying, he started to get very, very specific about things that, especially young me, young Spencer, we were like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? To the point where, for example, it might be like, God, I am thankful for the ants. I'm thankful for what the ants do. God, I'm thankful for the wind. And we're like, all right, man, this is getting long. We're kids, right? We're kids. Like, what are we doing? We're talking about any and everything. And at the same time, too, my grandma is like wrenching, pinching us because we starting to snicker, right? I mean, like, pull your skin type pinch. But what ended up happening years later, this hit me really, I almost want to say like earlier last year. I was thinking about how much more in tune and in rhythm he was than we were at that time, how much more in tune and in rhythm he was with the world than, not that just that time, than I was maybe a couple years ago, right? To have gratitude for something that other people might not even think about. So with that being said, I do want to take a moment, and I want you, so this is then the educator is going to come out again, pull out your phone or something, go to your notes. What I want you to do is to start with something that you are grateful for, right? Before we even get any further, start to think about things that you are grateful for and try to find one thing that you might not have thought about before, right? Go a little bit deeper and think about something you're grateful for. Let's get in rhythm that way. And while we do that, let's have something jamming by the fellas real quick. So take a minute. Gratitude is the attitude. I'll keep that going, fella. Let's just come down some. Thank you. Does anyone want to share? Yes, for sure. Hercules. Does anyone want to share something that they're grateful for?
Grateful for the fellas?
Yes. Me too. What are we grateful for? You can just come on with it. Well, let's give yourselves a hand for this moment. All right. So, real quick, while we're in the, thinking and writing space, I have my first assignment for you. I told you we are in this big educator mode, so let's get into it. All right, so we're about to get into rhythm a little bit deeper. We kind of touched on it in a few ways, but a little vague, just talking about backstory and those things. But let's get into rhythm a little bit. And what I want to do is what's on there. Assignment number 1. Jot down your definition of rhythm in your notes. You can use your phone, and then we'll take a minute or a moment to share what we came up with together. That cool? All right. Go on, strike back up one more again, fellas. All right, everybody, let's get to work.
where I said hitting the pocket of management, expression, momentum, and progress.
That's real good. I love that word pocket too. Man, these just came out your brain like that quick. I feel like it just got real deep in here. I'm loving it. Oh, that's incredible. All right, so let's jet forward. So this is Rhythm by the Book, right? And it is definitely not as cool as the answers that we just got, all right? But by the book, a strong, regular, repeated pattern of movement or sound. The systematical arrangement of musical sounds, of course, that's a musical definition of rhythm, right? Musical sounds, principally according to duration and periodic stress, all right? With that being said, it said, go to them notes, Prof. So that's what I'm about to do. So here's some things I kind of prepared to say about this. What exactly is rhythm? Let me jump into the educator bag real quick again. Rhythm is one of our primary elements of music. And we're actually going to touch on a couple more before we end too. But it's defined as a strong, regular, repeated pattern of movement or sound. It can also be defined as the systematic arrangement of musical sounds, a particular pattern. We heard that word come up a few times, right? Pattern. All of our lives consist of a rhythm or has a rhythmic flow. Each one of ours, we touched on that too. It's actually really dope that everybody is already on this wave with it, right? We have our daily routines, our work schedules, our sleep schedules, our time we spend with family, right? Our time alone. All of those count as a part of our rhythm. As we put all of these things together, we form our rhythms. The world around us and all the things within it moves with a certain rhythm. Think about it. There's some things like the way that the world spins. If that got off rhythm, we're toast. Immediately. Right? That's just one example. The world itself has a strict rhythm, very strict. Here's where we dive deeper into the topic. Good rhythm requires a certain steadiness, a strictness of time, a regular flow, or a pulse that underlies the music or our lives. And that's why, even with the title, we say that we are rhythm. Good friends, we are the rhythm. The rhythm is around us, but we embody it, so we are rhythm too. Beyond the rhythm that we develop and to go through our everyday lives, we have a steady rhythm that takes place inside of us every day. Somebody mentioned this too. What is that? Your heart. Our lives are literally dependent on rhythm. Not just rhythm, good rhythm, right? Think about it, if it's irregular, it causes issues, right? If something goes on with your heart, if it gets out of rhythm, there's an issue. Our lives depend on a strict rhythm, right? Moving forward, I just want us to internalize this word and all that it means on every single level. This also serves as a moment in which we are all in rhythm together. Being here in this space, we are in rhythm together. And this is something that deserves that word gratitude that we mentioned. So as I mentioned, I'm one of the band directors at TSU. That's my life, my lifeline, something I love, been doing for a while at this point. And that concept of rhythm in the band, and they'll tell you this, is a non-negotiable. That's one of them things that has to be in place. At all times, everyone has to be in step, in unison, same time, and the beauty lies in the discipline, the structure, and togetherness that rhythm builds. I'm gonna give me a snap real quick for that one. Let's get that. Yeah. All right. Now, think about the feeling you get. Anybody dancing here? Any dancers? All right. Think about the feeling you get when you do the electric slide. Y'all know how to do the electric slide? All right. Or any line dance. What about, hold on. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. You see how, yeah, I saw a few folks that, right, caught that rhythm. Well, for my generation, this is the swag surf era. Well, yeah, we were getting it in, just the whole club just moving like a wave, right? But in these moments where everyone is in sync, that represents us all being in rhythm together. So right now, let's take in that we're in rhythm together. And that's what this morning represents. It's a chance for us to lock in together, to network, to meet, make a new friend, to learn, discuss, and just collectively grow together in rhythm. All right, then after you leave, the goal is to add these new rhythms, because you'll pick up some new rhythms that we all gain to your own personal rhythm, okay? And then from there, also to teach those rhythms to someone else. That's essentially how new musical genres are built as well, right? The addition of new sound, new structure, new rhythms, that's the key to musical development. That's the key to human development. Again, because we are the rhythm. These things apply all the way across the board. And sometimes the only difference between something like blues or country is just the rhythm itself. So many of these things are so closely aligned. And as I get ready to close on this section, remember that I said that we're all music, we're all rhythm essentially. So that means now new rhythms sit at the core of your personal development too. All right, let's move on for this one. Let's go to the next slide. We can get one more snap one more time because, yeah, we taking that all in. And then I'm snapping because the music is so vibey, you know, it just fits. All right, so real quick, I told you we're doing some work and I'm gonna move quickly. Assignment number 2, I want you to do this. Use a non-musical example and try to find 3 ways real quick in which rhythm is present in our lives. We're gonna hear from you. Let me know, let us know. How does rhythm play a role in your life? Take like a minute, let us know. Let me tell you how I nerd out on this type of stuff too. Like just hearing it, it's just like, oh man, I really, really nerd out. All right, thank you for sharing those too. Thank you so much for sharing those. All those are incredible. Let's move into the types of rhythm real quick. And some of these are not just music, but even like rhythm in design. So we'll pull to the types of rhythm and get into those real quick. That's why I said something like with the traffic pattern, right? It's like, oh, I got something for you on that. So let's start with regular rhythm, right? Regular rhythm, the most comfortable rhythm, right? That's the one where you feel like you're kind of locked in. Like the beating of a heart, the regular rhythm follows the same intervals over and over again. In music, this is equivalent to a steady pulse, right? Once the beat becomes steady and unmovable, it's in the pocket. Somebody mentioned pocket earlier. I think it's pocket. Somebody mentioned pocket earlier. It's in the pocket. For those who may not live in the musical space, the pocket means it's locked in, right? The music is locked in. It's stuck. Just like when you put your wallet in your pocket, it's not going anywhere, right? In all of our lives, we strive to create some sense of normalcy, right? Things about us that are consistent. These things represent your regular rhythm. Whatever they are for you, they represent your regular rhythm. Everybody got that? We good to go? All right, see, I'm going to make sure and take some notes if need be. All right, moving on. The next one, random rhythm. This is about to get over to where we were talking about, that random rhythm. So repeating elements with no specific regular interval creates random rhythms. All right, think about falling snow. Snow doesn't fall in a line down and come down. It comes down in droves. You cannot say, you cannot identify, right, how it's falling. So random rhythm, traffic. Those traffic patterns when you're 65 or 40 trying to get to work at 8 or 9 in the morning, it's completely random how that's about to flow, all right? You have no clue what's about to happen with that. Let's take it a step further, all right? And because this is random, you can join in as well. On the count of 3 real quick, round of applause. Whether you know it or not, y'all were clapping all over the place at random. Together in the fact that we were all doing it, but it wasn't defined like everybody clapping at the same time, right? All right, cool. That's not random, right? You see the difference in the random rhythm. So what you'll notice is that the first time we did not clap all in sync. We did not clap all in beat, right? We didn't start at the same time nor stop at the same time, right? Random rhythm. Let's take that concept and apply it to our lives. Sometimes we fall into random rhythms as we move through life. Random rhythm can be beautiful, like an unexpected promotion at the job, right? You done got a new promotion, Pay raise, everything is good. Happened randomly, you work for it, but bang, happens. Or changing plans to take off work and taking a break from the normal grind of your day-to-day activities. Random rhythm, right? Random rhythm can also be unfortunate and show up in some different type of ways too, and that's just being real in life, like having a flat tire. You didn't plan for that, but it's about to change your entire flow, right? Or not to be grim, but when you lose someone and you have to learn how to go through life in a different type of way, right? It creates this random rhythm that happens, and it happens for all of us at some point, right? So random rhythm is a very real aspect of life. And then we have to recognize this fact and embrace that fact. But it also allows us to adapt, and it shows up however it shows up, okay? And this leads me to the last type of rhythm that I want to talk about, which is progressive rhythm, all right? Any question about random? See, I'm doing this like a teacher too. Okay, we good, everybody got me? Progressive rhythm. In music, let's start there. We can make a progressive rhythm simply by changing the characteristic of a motif or a melody. And we'll briefly talk about melody before we're done. We're almost there. This means that after a particular melodic line begins to sound, when it comes back, there are new elements to that said melody, which give it new energy and new life. Progressive rhythm, it can stand alone, but random rhythm, think about it, it births progressive rhythm. So when those random things happen and we have to adjust, we have to fall into progressive rhythm to find our new flow, right? To add on something else, add a new piece of rhythm that gives us some new life, all right? That happens when things are shaken up, as change happens, as norms are deconstructed, all right? That's when we create the new rhythms. These are the progressive rhythms, and as we live, whether we know it or not, we may have many moments of progress and reinvention. You've probably had some already, right? We know what it feels like to reinvent or get into a new space. From major life-altering events to smaller, subtle changes, right? Like my current diet. I'm in the gym right now. I'm getting back. It's taking a little minute, but I'm getting back. So our progressive rhythms are the rhythms that we use to continue to evolve and grow. They are the rhythms that we turn into regular rhythms, and in some cases, eventually break back into random rhythms, only to become progressive again, and that cycle goes, right? Because we are the rhythm. So it doesn't just stay the same, right? We continue to evolve. My friends, these rhythms are us. These are the rhythms that make life interesting and dynamic. The ones that gives us our lows, but also our highs. This cycle of rhythm is who we are. And the more we acknowledge and respect these rhythms, the more beautiful our lives become, that we are fortunate to navigate and live and change and come back and change and reinvent ourselves again and again. Take that in and internalize it, and one more again for these. Good. All right, now we're getting towards the end, but with rhythm, I could not bring in harmony and melody real quick, all right? And I'm gonna do this in like 3 minutes. Time me, I told you I can talk sometimes, but I'm gonna do this in about 3 minutes. All right, so harmony. I got something that I actually need from you guys. Can I get real quick a C major chord? Very good. All right, we got the C's, we got the E's, and we have the G's. Hold on, G's. All right. So let me get that C real quick. E, G. All right. All right. Very good. Very good. I want you to remember how that made you feel real quick. I'm gonna do something with that. All right. Remember how that made you feel. Can I get a C minor chord? All right. C. D flat. F. Oh, G. Say Did that one feel a little bit different? Felt a little bit different? Remember that. Remember that. All right, can I get a C diminished? All right, So I'm gonna do something with that. All of those are examples of harmony, right? In music, harmony is the concept of combining different sounds together simultaneously. When you sound more than one note together at the same time, this harmony, it transfers directly to our lives, all right? I wanna show you how, all right? When we think about how powerful it is when more than one are gathered on one accord, like we are right now. Even beyond sharing ideas or thoughts, when we collectively share good energy, there's so much power that arises from that. So we just did a major, a minor, and a diminished chord. All of those were different harmonies, yes? Different harmonies. But the thing about it is, and where I want you to kind of internalize this, those harmonies represent the people that you surround yourself with, the energy that you surround yourself with, and can be ever-changing, right? So you as, let's say that you're the root of this chord, right? And each one of those, the root was C, just for my music heads. The root was C for all those. But let's say you're the root of those chords. You can always choose how you want to create the harmony around you. But I want the main point of this is to really be very intentional about the harmony and the energy that you keep around you, because that affects you, right? Each one of those chords felt a little bit different, right? There's no right or wrong answer to how those chords made you feel, but you have to make sure that you curate that harmony around you, because that affects you, the individual. All right, that's important. Tell them things like that all the time. Watch your circle, the people that you have around you. All that is important. All right, so you have to curate your harmony. And lastly, because I have to move, we are at the end, the melody. Here's the melody, and I'll go through this real quick. This is probably how y'all feel when I'm talking late at the end of class, like, don't leave just yet. All right, melody. Melody is the main line. A melody is made up of single pitches in succession. It's the main theme, the main lyric. Earlier I said that we're all music. Well, you, the individual, you serve as the melody in your own song, in your own life song. The great orator and philosopher, Cat Williams, he once said, you got to be in tune with your star player. You got to be in tune with your star player. The star player is you. Each individual, you point to yourself, you are your own star player, all right? So, with that being said, the melody of the song is the star player, you, my friends, and each of you are that star. In order for your rhythm and harmony to fall in place, you have to establish the melody. This is self-care, y'all. That's really where I'm going with that. You have to establish the melody. In order for you to be at your best, you have to first take care of you. So often we are pulled in so many different directions, right? I understand we're busy. I get it. We're helping everyone else achieve their goals and dreams, which is important. And then we look up and realize that we haven't poured into the star player, which is yourself. Sometimes we drain ourselves with so much energy, or we love that harmony so much that we forget the melody, right? And that's why we have to really, really take a moment to key, and I want you to do that as well. Take a moment to really look inward and take care of yourself. Self-care, you are the melody, right? And I think you get the point. And when we leave our legacies behind, the way that you made others feel, the way that you poured into others, the way that you impact the community and the world will have people singing your melody for years to come, right? But you have to start inward and take care of yourself first. All right, we are at the end, so this is the coda, which means the end, right? Coda, in Italian word, a lot of musical terms are in Italian. In musical composition, the concluding section, typically at the end of a sonata movement that is based, as a general rule, on extensions, or re-elaborations of thematic material previously heard. Recap. But assignment 3, you can take this one and kind of do this one on your own for the sake of time. But in your notes, what I want you to do for yourself is to list a way that you've already have a plan to incorporate positive progressive rhythm into your life. Also, list at least one way you plan to prioritize the melody, which is yourself, because you have to do that in order to be there for everyone else around you, right? So make sure to take a moment to prioritize the melody yourself, all right? But we'll do that on your own for the sake of time, and I'll get ready to end, but before I do, can we please give some love to these guys, the fellas? I'm so proud of them. Like, really. Thank y'all. Yes. All right, and this music is beautiful, but it's a wrap. So thank you. Please take these concepts, apply them to your life. Like, let these get you through the day. Recognize that we are rhythm. All the elements that we talked about, they apply to us 100%. And then lastly, take care of that star player, which is you, the melody. Make sure to do that. And go off into rhythm and enjoy the day. This is Love. I'm Prof. Jenkins. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.